Hey there Star Wars fans, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Vintage Collection 41st Elite Corps Clone Trooper. Okay then guys, so this is another Vintage Collection action figure review. This is the 41st Elite Corps Clone Trooper. This one I've had on pre-order since God knows when, October probably, but he got delayed and delayed and delayed, but we finally got him now. And apparently this is the third attempt at this figure, so I haven't got the first attempt at this figure, but I do have the second attempt at this figure. So we're going to be comparing this one here, the Vintage Collection Revenge of the Sith version, to the Orange Card Black Series version. So I'm not sure if you're aware, back end of last year, Steve Evans of Hasbro, he actually mentioned about this figure, saying that this is, again, as I mentioned before, the third time that they've actually tried to do this figure. And they mentioned before that they'd obviously got the paint wrong and the grey in places wasn't correct to get him screen accurate. But they reckon that they have got him screen accurate this time, so we'll crack the figure out in a second and take a look. I still fear that the head is going to be on the small side and the helmet is going to be a bit on the large side. So the scale of those things I just still don't think that they've got right. But once we get the figure out, we can check that out and compare it against the other one. Okay then, so before we get the figure out of the packet, let's just take a look at the card back, because obviously these vintage cards, some people like to keep these in the card. I have got two of these, so I'll be keeping one of these all nice to go on my wall, and obviously I'll be opening this one. So we've got a nice decent image of the 41st Elite Corps Clone Trooper there. It does look a bit digitally enhanced, but of course the clone troopers in these films, they were pretty much digitally created anyway. So if they were going to get a scene from the film, it would probably end up looking like it'd been photoshopped anyway. He is on the Revenge of the Sith card, so it's been a while since we've had one of those. The nice racetrack design there. We've got the Kenner logo at the bottom. There he is in the bubble. He's looking pretty good there, I must admit. Nice yellow name pill and the yellow behind the figure, which looks great. Back of the card, we have the Elite Corps Trooper there and some of the figures that are going to be coming out in the next wave. So we've got the Praetorian Guard, Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, Lando, and Captain Phasma. This figure is number VC145. So yeah, there you go. Pretty nice card. I do like a clone trooper, so this will go nice in the collection. So let's crack the figure open and we'll take a look. Alright then, so before I get into the details of this figure and compare him to the Black Series version, I just wanted to ask you, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. It really does help the video. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Alright then, so here's the figure himself. So now the first thing I'm going to mention to him, I just think this is lazy paintwork on Hasbro's part. I mean, look at the shoulder pad there. So they said that they were going to get this paintwork right in terms of the position of the grey and the white and what have you. But the least they could have done was actually paint it properly. So his shoulder pads there is missing a load of paint on the side. You can see some missing there as well, so that isn't great. And let's just have a look at the figure and the positions of those greys. So I'm pretty sure that they have got the legs right. Indeed, they did have grey down on their legs like that, and indeed they do have a grey belt. However, they do not have this grey middle torso bit or stomach area, which I'll show you just quickly again on the card. So if we look at the card there, apologies for the light and the glare, he does have this grey belt there, but he has just got the standard white sort of clone belly armour, if you like, there. Of course, he does have those grey shoulder pads, so they've got that little bit right. But if you look at the hands there, so the hands are white, and on this figure, they've got grey on the hands as well. So they said third time lucky, but I think they might have to do this one a fourth time if they want to get it right. So anyway, that's just my opinion on the paintwork. So yep, slightly lazy paintwork on those shoulders, as I mentioned before. Let me know what you think about this figure in the comments, guys, about the head. Is that head too small? It looks a little bit too small, in my opinion, compared to the rest of his body. He looks like he's got a bit of a shrunken head there, which is a bit of a shame. But obviously, you know, this often happens when they have to accommodate a removable helmet. So let's just put his helmet on now. And yeah, let me know what you think there. Is the helmet, you know, I still think the helmet's a little bit too big, to be honest. Yeah. You know, they're struggling to sort this figure out. You know, third time lucky. and they failed again. So unfortunately, you know, let's just have a look at the Black Series version to compare the two. So here is the Black Series version. Now, as you can see on this figure, he has got sort of more battle damage and little nicks and marks on his armor, but he has the wrong color belt, but he has the correct color torso, or lower torso belly area there. But let's get this figure out and compare the two. All right then, guys, so here's the two figures side by side, this one being the new one on the left here, and this one being the Black Series version on the right. So as I mentioned before, as you can see, this one on the right has got all sort of the battle damage armor and all the nicks and stuff going on his armor. You know, I'm not sure for which one I prefer in that respect. I kind of think I prefer the clean clone here. But as you can see, you know, the difference of colour on the shoulder pads there. This is more of like a sort of a greeny grey, whereas this one is an actual proper grey. But on the older figure, they haven't actually messed up the paintwork on the shoulders like they have on this one. So, you know, in that respect, this one is better. So I think if you basically mix these two figures together, then you'd end up with something that's actually screen accurate. You've got the white hands, which is correct on this one. Don't know why they've done them grey on this one. You've got the white belly on this one, which is correct. But you've got the grey belt on that one, which is correct. As you can see, I think they've used the photoreal technology on the face, so that's one thing. So there's the face on the new one, and the old one is just just has slightly less detail. The eyes are not as good, the lips. So you can tell that they have actually improved that face. So there's the back of the figures there. In terms of the mould and the sculpt, they're identical. It's just the paint apps that they've, you know, managed to mess up once again. So it's a little bit frustrating that they haven't managed to get it right on this occasion. But what can you do? Let's just have a look at the helmets of both. So this is the helmet of the new one, and this is the helmet of the Black Series version. Now again, pretty much they are exactly the same, except for what this one is more of a matte white, whereas this one is more of a gloss white. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up. I think it can actually, yes. If you this one's just a bit more shiny compared to the new one. Apart from that, this one's got maybe a thicker grey line going round. Apart from that, they're pretty much identical in every way. Now, the other thing that we have to mention about these figures is the accessory. So this is the accessory for the new one. So it's just a black blaster, all one colour. Whereas the previous version, the Black Series version, has at least got a tiny bit of silver detailing on there and on the other side. And I think if you're going to repack a figure, or, you know, how difficult is it to just put the original blaster in instead of something that's just plain black? I don't really get it. So there you go then, guys. That is the 41st Elite Clone Trooper versus the Black Series version. Let me know your thoughts on this new figure in the comment section below. I'll be interested to know your thoughts. And thank you very much for watching as per usual, and we shall see you on the next video.